Hello everyone, and welcome back to English Corridor. Today is August 4th, 2026. I'm so happy you're here. Take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy today's English story. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Just listen, enjoy the story, and let your English improve naturally. Today's story is called The Best Decision I Never Wanted to Make. Let's begin. Have you ever had to make a decision you didn't want to make? A decision that felt painful, scary, even unfair. Sometimes life gives us two choices. One feels comfortable. The other feels impossible. This is the story of Michael. Michael was 34 years old and had worked for the same company for nearly 11 years. He knew everyone. Everyone knew him. His desk was by the window. Every morning, he greeted the security guard, made a cup of coffee, and started work at exactly 8 o'clock. His life was predictable. Safe. Comfortable. But deep inside, he wasn't happy. He had dreamed of becoming a travel photographer when he was younger. He loved telling stories through pictures. His camera was his favorite possession. Yet it had been sitting on a shelf for almost 5 years, collecting dust. Every weekend, Michael promised himself, "Next week, I'll start taking photos again." But next week never came. Work was always too busy. He was always too tired. One Tuesday morning, everything changed. His manager asked him to come into the office. The meeting lasted less than 10 minutes. The company was restructuring. Several positions were being eliminated. Michael's job was one of them. He walked out carrying a small cardboard box with his coffee mug, family photo, and a notebook. He couldn't believe it. 11 years. Gone in 10 minutes. For the next few days, Michael felt angry. Then disappointed. Then afraid. He spent hours sending resumes to different companies. But nobody replied. One evening, while cleaning his apartment, he found his old camera. He smiled. Then he remembered the promise he had made to himself years ago. He picked up the camera. It still worked perfectly. The next morning, instead of staying inside worrying, Michael walked through a nearby park. Children were laughing. Birds were flying. Sunlight filtered through the trees. He raised the camera. Click. For the first time in years. He took a photograph. Then another. And another. Something inside him came alive again. A little girl feeding ducks. An elderly couple holding hands. A street musician smiling as people walked past. Michael forgot about his problems. He simply enjoyed the moment. As he prepared to leave, an older man approached him. "Those are beautiful photos," he said. Michael smiled politely. "Thank you. Are you a professional photographer?" Michael laughed. "I wish." The man looked at him for a moment. Sometimes the life you want begins the day the life you planned falls apart. Michael had never heard those words before. But somehow, they stayed with him. Michael couldn't stop thinking about the stranger's words. Sometimes the life you want begins the day the life you planned falls apart. That evening, instead of searching job websites for hours, he opened the folder of photos he had taken in the park. One by one, he looked through them. There was something special about them. They weren't perfect. But they told stories. For the first time in years, Michael felt excited. The next morning, he created a simple website to share his photography. He didn't expect anyone to notice. He uploaded 10 of his favorite pictures and wrote a short story behind each one. Then he shared the page with a few friends. Days passed. Then something unexpected happened. One of his photos was shared by a popular travel blog. Within 24 hours, thousands of people had viewed his work. Comments began to appear. Your photos make me feel like I'm there. You don't just take pictures, you tell stories. Do you sell prints? Michael couldn't believe it. A week later, a local magazine contacted him. They needed a photographer for a feature about hidden places in the city. It wasn't a huge job. The pay wasn't amazing. But Michael said yes without hesitation. He spent 3 days walking through neighborhoods, meeting local shop owners, artists, musicians, and families. He realized something important. Photography wasn't just about taking beautiful pictures. It was about noticing moments that everyone else walked past. When the magazine was published, people loved it. Soon another company reached out. Then another. Within a year, Michael was working as a full-time travel photographer. He visited national parks, small towns, and beautiful cities across the country. Every assignment introduced him to new people and new stories. One afternoon, while photographing a mountain trail, he remembered the office where he had worked for 11 years. He remembered the desk by the window. The endless meetings. The emails. The routine. Years ago, losing that job had felt like the worst thing that could happen. Now, he realized it had been the best thing that ever happened to him. A few months later, Michael received an invitation from his former company. They were celebrating their anniversary and had asked him to give a short talk about career growth. As he stood in front of his old co-workers, he smiled. I used to believe success meant never leaving your comfort zone, he began. But I was wrong. Sometimes life forces you to leave because you're too afraid to go on your own. The room became completely silent. Michael continued. The hardest decision of my life wasn't choosing a new career. It was choosing to believe that my future could be better than my past. After the event, several coworkers came to thank him. One of them quietly admitted. I've wanted to change careers for years, but I've been afraid. Michael smiled. I was afraid too. The first step is always the hardest. As he walked outside, he looked up at the sky. He remembered the day he carried a small cardboard box out of that building. Back then, he thought his story had ended. Now he understood. It had only just begun. So if you're facing a difficult decision today, don't let fear make it for you. Sometimes the door that closes isn't the end of your journey. It's the beginning of a better one. The best decisions in life are often the ones we never wanted to make. Thank you for listening to English Corridor. If you enjoyed today's story, keep listening, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself. Every story improves your English. And every lesson helps you grow. Until next time. Take care, stay brave, and never stop learning. The end.